Three men were standing in the yard. When they caught sight of the small pot-bellied man in his black suit and parson's collar, they stopped talking and watched him suspiciously. The farm owner was a stumpy man with small shifty eyes, whose name was Rummins. The tall youth beside him was his son Bert. The short man with broad shoulders was Claude, a neighbor. "And what exactly might you be wanting?" Rummins asked. Bogus explained at some length the aims and ideals of the Society for the Preservation of Rare Furniture. "We don't have any," said Rummins. "You're wasting your time." "Now just a minute, sir," Bogus said, raising a finger. "The last man who said that to me was an old farmer down in Sussex, and when he finally let me into his house, do you know what I found? A dirty looking old chair in the kitchen that turned out to be worth £400. I showed him how to sell it, and he bought himself a new tractor with the money." Rummins shifted uneasily on his feet. "Well," he said, "there's no harm in you taking a look." He led the way into an exceedingly filthy living room. And there it was. Bogus saw it at once and gasped. He stood staring for 10 seconds at least, not daring to believe what he saw before him. It couldn't be true. At that point, Bogus became aware of the three men watching him intently. They had seen him gasp and stare. In a flash, Bogus staggered to the nearest chair and collapsed into it. "What's the matter?" Claude asked. "It's nothing," he gasped. "I'll be all right in a minute." "I thought maybe you were looking at something," Rummins said. No, Bogus said. "It's just my heart. It happens every now and then. I'll be all right." He must have time to think, he told himself. "Take it gently, Bogus. Keep calm. These people may be ignorant, but they're not stupid. And if it is really true..." To a layman, what he had seen might not have appeared particularly impressive, covered as it was with dirty white paint. But it was a dealer's dream. Bogus knew that among the most coveted examples of 18th century English furniture are three pieces known as the Chippendale commodes. A trifle unsteadily, Bogus began to move around the room, examining the other furniture, one piece at a time. Apart from the commode, it was a very poor lot. "A nice oak table," he said. "Not old enough to be of any interest." "This chest of drawers?" Bogus walked casually past the commode. "Worth a few pounds, I dare say. A crude reproduction, I'm afraid." "That's a strong bit of furniture," Rummins said. "Some nice carvings on it too." "Machine carved," Bogus replied, bending down to examine the exquisite craftsmanship. He began to saunter off, frowning as though in deep thought. You know what?" he said, looking back at the commode. "I have wanted a set of legs, something like that, for a long time. I've got a table in my own home, and when I moved house, the movers damaged the legs. I'm very fond of that table. I keep my Bible and sermon notes on it." He paused, stroking his chin. "These legs on your chest of drawers could be cut off and fixed on to my table." "What do you mean to say? Is you'd like to buy it?" Rummins asked. "Well, it might be a bit too much trouble. It's not worth it." How much were you thinking of offering? Romans asked. Not much, I'm afraid. You see, this is not a genuine antique. I'm not so sure, Roman said. It's been in here over 20 years. I bought it at the manor house when the old squire died. But where's that old bill you once found at the back of one of the drawers? You mean this? Bert lifted out a piece of folded yellowing paper from one of the drawers and carried it over to his father. You can tell me this writing ain't bloody old, Raman said, holding the paper out to Bogus, whose arm was trembling as he took it. It was brittle and it crackled slightly between his fingers. The writing was in a long, sloping, coppery plate hand.
Edward Montague, debtor to Thos Chippendale. A large mahogany commode table of exceeding fine wood, very rich carved, set upon fluttered legs, two very neat shaped long drawers in the middle part and two ditto on each side, with richest brass handles and ornaments, the whole completely finished in the most exquisite taste. Bogus was fighting to suppress his excitement. With the invoice, the value had climbed even higher. What in heaven's name would it fetch it now? £12,000? 14? Maybe 15 or even 20. He tossed the paper contemptuously on the table. And said quietly, "It's exactly what I thought, a Victorian reproduction. This is simply the invoice that the seller gave to his client." "Listen, Parson," Romanus said. "How can you be so sure it's a fake? You haven't even seen it underneath all that paint." "Has anyone got a knife?" asked Bogus. Claude produced a pocket knife. Working with apparent casualness, Bogus began chipping the paint off a small area on top of the commode. "Take a look." It was beautiful. A warm little patch of mahogany, glowing like a topaz, rich and dark with the true color of its 200 years. "What's wrong with it?" Romans asked. "It's processed." Without the slightest doubt, this wood has been processed with lime. That's what they use for mahogany, to give it that dark aged color. Look closely. That touch of orange in among the dark red brown is the sign of lime. "How much would you give?" Romans asked. Bogus looked at the commode, frowned, and shrugged his shoulders. "I think £10 would be fair." £10? Romans cried. "Don't be ridiculous, Parson. Look at the bill. It tells you exactly what it costs. £87. Now it's antique. It's worth double." "If you will pardon me, no, sir, it's not. It's a second-hand reproduction. But I'll tell you what. I'll go as high as £15. "Make it 50, Romans said. "My dear man," Bogus said softly, "I only want the legs. The rest of it is firewood. That's all." "Make it 35. Rumens said. I couldn't, sir, I couldn't. I'll make you one final offer, £20. I'll take it, Rumens snapped. Oh dear, Bogus said. I shouldn't have started this.
You can't back out now, Parson. A deal's a deal. Yes, I know. Perhaps if I got my car, you gentlemen would be kind enough to help me load it? Bogus found it very difficult not to break into a run. But clergymen never run. They walk slowly. Walk slowly, Bogus. Keep calm, Bogus. There's no hurry. Now, the commode is yours. Back in the farmhouse, Rumens was saying, Fancy him giving me £20 for a load of junk like this. You did very nicely, Mr. Rumens, Claude told him. You think he'll pay you? We don't put it in the car till he does. And what if he won't go into the car? Claude asked. He'll just say to hell with it and drive off. Rumens paused to consider this alarming prospect. I've got an idea, Claude went on. He told us that it was only the legs he was wanting, so all we have got to do is cut him off. Then it'll be sure to go in the car. All we are doing is saving him the trouble of cutting them off when he gets home. A bloody good idea, Rumens said, looking at the commode. Within a couple of minutes, Claude and Bert had carried the commode outside, and Claude went to work with a saw. When all the legs were severed, Bert arranged them carefully in a row. Claude stepped back to survey the results. Just let me ask you one question, Mr. Rumens, he said slowly. Even now, could you put that enormous thing into a car? Not unless it's a van. Correct, Claude cried. And Parsons don't have vans. All they've got usually is piddling little Morris 8s or Austin 7s. The legs is all he wants, Rumens said. If the rest of it won't go in, then he can leave it. He can't complain. He's got the legs. Now you know better than that, Mr. Rumens, Claude said patiently. You know damn well he's going to start knocking the price if he don't get every single bit of this into the car. So why don't we give him his firewood now and be done with it? Fair enough, Rumens said, but fetch the axe. It was hard work, and it took several minutes before Claude had the whole thing more or less smashed to pieces. I will tell you one thing, he said, straightening up, wiping his brow. That was a bloody good carpenter. Put this job together, and I don't care what the Parson says. We're just in time, Rumens called out. Here he comes.